What's up, YouTube? Pretty upset at myself. I turned my phone and it made my video go sideways the last time. So today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit of background. I did a video with a friend of mine. He was actually a former team leader when I was in the military. So I was an infantryman, 11 Bravo, and for those of you that don't know, infantrymen, their job is to, as they say, and I'm not gonna, there's obviously a lot of arrogance to that, right? Because they say the job is to close with and destroy the enemy. And you're good at three things: shoot, move, and communicate. And that was what I learned fresh out of high school. And I got to go travel the world and make a whole lot of friends and a whole lot of enemies. But I feel that set me in a position to where I learned who I am and what my values and my beliefs are. I got out of that and started a family, and then I was a police officer in a small town of about 1,800 people for about 4 years. And ultimately the pay wasn't there. I wasn't making nearly enough money to keep up with inflation, and long hours away from my family, and it just wasn't working for me. But I came to the conclusion after I got my last job that I just was laid off from, that just chasing the money, it's not gonna work. And that's why I did the video on the idea that the wage has not kept up with the cost of living. And I think that a lot of people feel that, a lot of people see that currently, and they know. And people, especially this Christmas, I heard that Black Friday sales were down something like 62% for Black Friday sales. People aren't shopping. I had a friend of mine go Black Friday shopping, and they said it was empty and there weren't sales. Everything was the same price, and everybody's, I'm sure, seen the posts on social media, which realistically Black Friday's never been about sales. Historically, they wouldn't decrease the prices. They'd keep the prices elevated and add their markup, and then they would decrease it to the retail price on Black Friday. So there was never sales. You don't get anything at cost. But right now we're at a time where people don't have money, and the only option that most people can think to do is to work more, work another job, there's only so many hours in a day. You've got to choose, right? Are you gonna be with your family, or are you gonna choose to work? And personally, I'm choosing to be with my family. I don't know what that means for the future, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep my working hours down. And my goal personally is to start and develop a homestead, ideally a homestead with a couple of families on some acreage. I'd like to find a way to make that possible so that I can become self-sufficient enough that my civil disobedience will be meaningful. You can't fight from a position of weakness, and when you're entirely dependent on a financial system that's collapsing, it's just, you're never going to come out on top if you're trying to play the game. It's like trying to change the system from within when it's systemically corrupt at its base, at its foundation. And that's why I did the video on the monetary policy. That's why I tried to allude to the fact that our history for the last 100 years, because it's no longer taught in school. And I was going to do a video today on public school system and how it started off as an okay thing because people saw the need for it. People saw that you had to have an educated populace, and historically it's always been that way, even in Europe. But I ultimately decided against that video for today. I will do that video still, but I'm just trying to get my own ducks in a row. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear my ducks in the background. They're going crazy. It's 27 degrees, I think, out right now. Bit chilly here in the plains of Colorado, but so if you guys think that you'd like to start a homestead and become civil disobedient little homesteaders, because I think a lot of people think that after whatever is happening, and I don't, and it's tricky to say, because there won't be a shift or a shot heard around the world, so to speak. I think that slowly they're trying to create dilemmas for people using economics to pull people from rural areas and herd them into the cities, because they're more controllable in the cities. And I see that all around me in the small town that I live in, because the cost of living, there's no job that you can find that makes more than $15 an hour. And I don't know, here in Colorado right now, by any metric, your cost of living you have to be making as a household over $60,000 a year just to make ends meet. And that seems, as a household, so if you have two incomes at $15 an hour, $17 an hour, you're still making $65,000 a year. But the wage isn't going up and everything's just getting more expensive. And I don't personally think that working more is the answer. When the number I said in one of my previous videos, 67% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Well, if those 67% of Americans, which is, for those that don't understand percentages, 50% is half of 100%. So 67 is on the high side of way more than half. And that's just disgraceful to say as a people. What politician can take pride in today's current state of affairs? I personally would say none of them can, because when they are all taking home astronomical salaries and the people are scraping the bottom to make ends meet. I don't know how many people have been laid off. I'll look up that number and try and find some numbers on that, but I feel something in the air, and I think a lot of you people do too. A lot of the people that are watching these videos. Not that I know what it'll look like, but they're going to herd us into the cities if they can by using the dollar, which means you have to start making your resources. You have to be self-sufficient in your resources, meaning you can't store and can enough food for the coming troubles. As professional homeowner, Wrangler Star, whatever his name is, great guy, I like his videos a lot, but you can't store and can enough food for that. You're going to have to make a model that is self-sufficient, and you're going to have to rely on a community, because obviously you can't do all the work. But there's a saying we have in the military, and shit, it might be from even before that, but we said it all the time: many hands makes light work. And that's it, is you've got to build your tribe and your community. And I know a lot of people profess that and preach that, but what comes with that is people having difference in opinion. And not everybody's going to agree with you 100%. But you know what? If you can unite towards a common goal, such as familial safety or food production, if you know that this guy that you don't necessarily agree with on every freaking point, because who's really going to agree with everybody on every point? But at the end of the day, you know that you rely on him as much as he relies on you, and you're going to pull security with him just like he's going to pull security with you, because he sees that it's for the common good. You find those people, and starting now, you're probably behind the curve, but there will be a point you can either say, I'm suspicious of my neighbors, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to make these connections now, so that when trust falls out and people are looking for a solution, they're less likely to interact with you in an aggressive manner, you know? Because once that paranoia and that trust is gone, or the paranoia sets in and the trust is gone, nobody's going to let you in their house. Nobody's going to try and get close to you and buddy. That's just, you look at kind of The Walking Dead, and anybody that they find towards the beginning, I can't say that I've seen the whole series, but I've seen a couple seasons, and anybody that they find with reason, they're suspicious of, because people, you know, you're only a couple meals away from being an asshole and doing what you got to do for your family. And that's a reality for a lot of Americans. A lot of people that have been laid off this year, and a lot more will be laid off. Well, thank you, YouTube. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you thinking something's gonna happen? Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe nothing will happen. But I feel like the numbers speak for themselves, and consolidation of the wealth at the top with the money laundering scheme through Ukraine and now Israel, which we'll pull on that thread some other time. But check out my friend Josh Perry at It Could Be Worse. He's over on his YouTube channel. I can link the video on the bottom. It's a bit longer of a video, hour and 45 I think, but we hit on a lot of topics about the coming revolution and what changes that could incur. Thank you very much. Have a good day.